Hey there, Wendy Taylor here. I'm a registered dietitian for women with stress-induced GI issues. And today, in this Facebook Live show, I want to talk about dieting chaos and why finding food freedom can help with using the intuitive eating principles. I'll also share a little bit about something I've been working on and teasing on Facebook Live and Instagram for the past week, and I'll be sharing more about that with you in the end. It's something that I'm really excited about that'll be launching in September. But first, hey, I have one very big question for you. Hey, Amy. Pull up a seat at the table. I just grabbed some kombucha and I want to ask one very important question, and that is, are you caught up in the dieting chaos? One more time. Are you guys caught up in the dieting chaos? What I mean by that, you're probably like, Wendy, what do you mean? What I mean by that is the restrictions, and I can give you a really good example today. I was in a Facebook group lurking around, and I saw a lot of people saying that to clear up for their SIBO, for instance, that they'd gone to the doctor and the doctor recommended to cut out all carbs. And you guys, you know how I feel about this. I know you're jumping on here and we're talking about dieting chaos. Are you caught up in the dieting chaos? Restrictions are what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-blame. What comes after you do all the restrictions and they just don't work? So you cut out all the foods and then you add all the foods back in, and then you maybe think you can take some more away and maybe that's gonna work. Or maybe you just try another diet. Maybe you'll do the Whole30 one more round. You know what I'm talking about? And see if you're really sensitive to this product, and then you take it out and then you try to put it back in. Oh, it's not that. I have so many women tell me, and they're stressing themselves out. They're going through working, they're going through school, they just are nonstop. Maybe they have families, and they tell me, you know, I feel really gassy and bloated this morning. I think I had dairy last night. Guys, if you're caught in that cycle, I want to help you find food freedom. So that's what I do. I help women find food freedom by learning how to eat more intuitively. I'm going to say, what's that? Well, I've been creating a download for you that will, I guess it's more of like a resource tool for you with all the books, all the apps, all the videos I would recommend reading about if you're interested in learning more about intuitive eating and the process. But first, it's about listening to your body, and it's about feeding it what it needs when it needs it. And it's not restrictions of any kind. It's not any diet rules. If you've been struggling with diets for many, many, many years, I can tell you that it's not another diet. And I see a lot of people that have been on that roller coaster tackle intuitive eating and treat it like another diet. For instance, I see a lot of people say, you know, I'm listening to my body tonight and I chose not to eat dinner because I wasn't very hungry, but instead I had dessert. So, you know, I listened to my body and I ate what I craved. So there's still a little tendency there. Like, I would like to ask you, like, if you're skipping dinner to have dessert, are you truly listening to your body? Are you treating intuitive eating like another diet? So that's what I'm here for. I am a registered dietitian. I truly, truly believe the 10 principles of intuitive eating will help you find food freedom, even with GI intolerances and distress. So it's not a 30-day fix. I mean, you, especially with intuitive eating, let's just put the gut issues aside, because there's supplements and there's some herbal things that you can do. There's also antibiotics, but yeah, that's going to wipe out, you know, a lot of things. So there's some things that you can do to make your GI system function better, metabolize better, break down the foods better, maybe feel a little better, help with the gas and bloating. But in the end of the day, that is just a quick fix too. Honestly, the fix isn't with the GI stuff. The fix is with the intuitive eating and learning to ditch that mentality and learning to ditch the diets again. So there's no meal plans in my program. There's no talking about cutting carbs. Yeah, where was I at? I think I said I was lurking in the Facebook group today, and somebody says they're just gonna cut out the carbs and life will be better, or we're gonna cut out all grains. Like, I can't tell you how many times I see people cut, and their problems become worse. Our GI system is very complicated, and it's made up of millions of different types of bacteria and yeast, things that we need, things that we need more of, things that we need less of, depending on what's going on in there. Like, you cannot just, number one, start cutting out foods, and number two, start jumping on Facebook groups and just, trying this and that's like throwing spaghetti on the wall. But let's be honest, it's not about the food. It's not about the food. If you're working nonstop and you're not taking time for yourself, let's look at everything else that's going on. Let's look at the bigger picture. You need to be open to doing the internal work when it comes to intuitive eating. And that part of it is huge. A lot of internal work. If you've been through like years of dieting, then you have to really take the time to reframe all of the food rules that you've been telling yourself for the past however long. There's food rules, there's going to be messages, thoughts that come into your head, beliefs about certain foods and what they are going to do for you or your body, or they aren't, that all have to be reevaluated. And it can be scary. It can be scary to go out and tell yourself you can have anything in the grocery store if you want to. And if this is the route that you choose to go and make peace with food, then that's one of the steps of the process, is to allow yourself unconditional permission to eat those foods that you may have been denying yourself for years. And that can be scary. I completely understand. After years of rules and restrictions, it takes a lot of time to chip away at those beliefs and those thoughts and those rules that we have set for ourselves, that other people have set for us, maybe our parents. I mean, we're talking generations of food rules that have come down, that have been impressed upon us. So it takes time. And with dieting, there's a feeling of control that kind of gives people a sense of power. You've got such awesome willpower. Oh my God, you're losing so much weight. How do you stay on that track? How do you stay on that diet? Girl, you are amazing. You have some self-control. You look awesome. I don't see how you're sticking with it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, what happens when you lose that willpower? What happens when, is that what is this thing like flexitarian I'm hearing about? Come on. That's because it's hard. It's hard to stick to something. And when you don't, what happens? You feel terrible about yourself. Then you get the self-blame. And so you start to put yourself down. I am such a fat ass. I ate all that ice cream last night. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, it either leads to binge eating or with major restriction. And that is the pinnacle of the diet cycle. So, if you're the one that's struggling with this control around food, and you're dealing with this self-criticism that comes afterwards, I want you to know that it's not only limited to food. So that's the big key with the Facebook Live today, and my diet chaos topic is, I want you to know that leading up to this point, if this is you, like, it's not even about the food. what happens is it begins to kind of control your brain space and your thinking and your life when you're obsessed around how to stay on a diet. And so it spills over into like your friends or your family members. You become very moody. Maybe you become, your demeanor, just changes. And then it affects your self-worth, which affects, girlfriends, everything. So I think that if you can wrap your head around ditching the diet mentality and getting out of that chaos, you can find that food freedom that you were looking for, and it can be so empowering. So what intuitive eating does is it doesn't blame the food. It teaches us to explore the thoughts and feelings that we have around the food. And it can be, like I said, very internal, very challenging. You might have to do some journaling. There are lots of different things that people can do that I work with them on to break free from those limiting beliefs, rather than judge yourself. And then your thoughts become free. I mean, it is so amazing when you actually become free to like be present with your family or your friends. Be free to go out and enjoy whatever it is you want and not come home and beat yourself up because you've gone off track or gone off the diet. I mean, it can just, so I say finding food freedom is why I named the program what it is. So if you've been following me for a while, I hope that you were saying this to yourself. I hope that this makes sense to you. This negative self-talk. I know I hear a lot of women and they tell me, and I hear them in the grocery stores, and I hear them at the gym, and I hear them all over the place. And so I know that it is something that 99% of us struggle with or have struggled with. So if this is you, I want you to know that there is hope. And you know it makes so much sense, because as far as I can tell, no one is really taking this approach. As far as there are some people talking about intuitive eating out there, but when it comes to your gut and your stress-induced GI issues, I haven't heard a lot of talk about intuitive eating. I hear a lot of talk about cutting stuff out, and by the time people come to me and they're tired of the cutting and the functional medicine doctors, I see that in the Facebook group too, go find a functional medicine doctor, and then they'll be like, yeah, that worked for me. Doctors, I wish, if you're out there, maybe you are, introducing foods back into the diet, but cutting out foods while you're trying to solve these GI issues is not the answer. Everyone is individual. So I work with people, all different types of women, and stress can affect you in lots of different ways. So I'm here to say, will you have some food intolerances? Maybe what is causing those intolerances? So we really dive deep into that. But honestly, when it comes down to it, there's research around taking foods out and chronic dieting and gut. So that is what I'm here for. But I want to just give you a quick recap of what we've been talking about, because in case some people have been jumping off and on, they might have missed the message. But I'm going to publish this to the YouTube channel, and it'll go out in my weekly letter to you guys, Dirty Dishing, on Monday, so you'll get a chance to see it again. But if you'd like to receive that tool that I talked about, which is essentially like my recommended reading for anyone that is interested in intuitive eating, I have some books and workbooks that I would recommend, some videos, and some apps that I would recommend if you're interested in kind of learning more about what intuitive is and you're wanting to jump off that diet and chaos roller coaster. So what I would recommend that you do is just to let me know, and you can do that by hitting download, by just typing download in the comments, And I will be sure to make sure that you receive my recommended list of all the tools and resources to help you get started and learn more about how to ditch the diet chaos and how to find food freedom with intuitive eating. So yeah, just hit download in the comments below. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you can go to pantrydr.com and start the process. There's applications everywhere. And we have a group coaching course launching in September that I'm very excited about. It is going through the process of the principles of intuitive eating. And yeah, you'll be hearing a lot more about that in the next couple of months. That's something I've been working on behind the scenes. But if you're interested in getting a jump start and learning more about that yourself and how you can jump off the diet roller coaster, just hit download, type download in the comments below, and I'll reach out to you and I'll give you that resource that I put together for free. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you later.